Here we go, figured bass of the day. If you haven't done so already, why don't you download this? Or you could just copy the bass line onto manuscript paper. So this is figured bass, which consists of a bass line with also figured bass symbols. There are no figured bass symbols here. That means all of these are root position chords. So given that, we can analyze this, and we know that these are the roots of the chords. So this is a 1 chord, this is a 6th note of the scale, which is minor in a major key, 4 chord, 5 chord, 1, 2, 5, 1. Fairly simple progression, very common. Okay, so I would like you to start with this voicing, and we are going to do this with smoothest possible voice leading. This may create something that you think has a boring melody, but the purpose of this is not to write a melody. The purpose of this is to understand the best voice leading from one chord to the next. We'll talk about melodies later. Okay, so now these are all root position chords, and in root position we're going to double the root typically. So this first chord has 2 roots, a 3rd and a 5th. These are well spaced, no more than an octave between soprano and alto, and between alto and tenor. They're comfortably within the range. This is a little high for the bass, but it comes back down shortly. So now, this 1 chord is B flat, B flat, D, F. So we have 2 roots, a 3rd and a 5th. Why don't you pause the video a second and make the connection to the next chord, the 6th chord. Okay, so hopefully you've done this. The 6th chord is G minor, which is G, B flat, and D. The bass is moving down by a 3rd here, and that means we're going to have a lot of common tones. So we're going to need 2 Gs, a B flat, and a D. If we're going for smoothest possible voice leading, there's nothing smoother than a common tone. The B flat can tie over, the D can tie over, and the F can resolve up by step to G. That is the smoothest possible way to connect the 1 chord to the 6th chord. The voice leading for 6 to 4 will work exactly the same. Take a second to do that. Okay, so now E flat, G, B flat. We're going to need 2 E flats, a G, and a B flat. I'm going to put the G and B flat here, common tones. We need another E flat. Take that in the tenor. Now, we're going to go from 4 to 5. You are going to be tempted to do this. E flat to F, move everything up by step in parallel motion. You will be tempted to do this, but do not do this. This gives you parallel octaves and also parallel fifths, completely destroying any sense of independence between the voices. Okay, sounds terrible too. So here, when the bass moves by step, to get the smoothest possible voice leading, the upper voices move contrary motion to the bass. All that means this goes up, this is going to go down to the nearest chord tone. So now we're on the 4 chord, which sounds like this, to the 5. And then that will resolve to the 1 chord. Okay. I'm going to write this through to the end. You can probably stop it and write through as well. Just go for the smoothest possible voice leading. So B flat, D, F, B flat here by step. We've got the common tone and movement by step. Now 1 to 2, like this, the bass is moving up by step. The upper voices must move contrary motion to the bass in order to avoid parallel fifths and octaves. And now we're going to go to the 5 chord, F, A, C. There's 2 Fs, an A, and a C. Once again, 2 stepwise motions, 1 common tone. And now this will go here, here, and here. So, there we go. Play the whole thing for you. Figured bass the day number 1. If you started on this chord with this exact voicing, the rest of this should be exactly the same as what I wrote, if you're following smoothest possible voice leading. If you started with the upper notes in a different arrangement, say maybe you had the B flat and the tenor, all that means is that you would still have these 3 same melodies, but they would be stacked up differently in the upper voices. All right, that's Figured Bass of the Day for today.